was waiting for a certain someone to make an appearance, seeing as how we ate supper together. He wasn't in either restroom, so, but he is here right now, I see. So now I can do my thing. We have no Gary tonight. Well, I mean, Gary exists, but he's in Massachusetts. And remember to pray for him in a situation. His brother, remember, has a severe form of cancer. This is his second time going through treatment. Gary is providing blood marrow for his brother Eric. So pray for Gary and Eric. He won't be back for a couple days, but he's on a mission of mercy. So he's acceptably absent tonight. That means I can talk to you about a whole bunch of things that are in. Too soon? No. Too soon. All right, what should I talk about first? Well, the first thing that's coming up from the congregation is the retreat. My understanding is it's full up unless you want to come and camp, like in a tent or an RV. But I understand that the rooms are taken. Now, having said that officially, I will tell you this. In past years, I think in every single year, someone could not come. And so their room was available. So if you want to be, I think there is sort of a waiting list, not a waiting list, a waiting list. I would talk to Matt about that when you have a chance. It is fun. You are out in the open air, and it's wintry. It's as wintry as Florida gets, and so it's a nice adventure for all of us. Also, starting in a couple weeks, well, it's actually technically Tuesday, January 22nd, so that would be technically like 2.5 weeks. The seminary and yeshiva will be beginning our spring classes. My husband, the missing rabbi, is going to be talking about Rav Shaul's letters, the epistles from a Jewish perspective. This information as it is, you cannot get anywhere else. You would have to read so many boring, long books that you would not get through book 2. But he will summarize and he will share his insights. That's on Thursday night starting at 7:30. I'll be teaching the Ketuvim, actually half the Ketuvim. I'll be teaching the books which have a historical emphasis. So those are 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Lamentations, and I'm leaving one off. Oh, Ruth and Esther. So those are the ones I'm going to be concentrating on this semester. I've never taught this course before. I've read those portions of scripture before, thank goodness. But I've never taught this, so it'll be an exciting adventure for me. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I like studying and learning things that are new, and that will be starting on Tuesday, January 22nd. Enough said about that. Havdalah and game night is going to be at the end of February. See, we think ahead. We're always thinking ahead. We're getting better at that. If you are interested in studying Hebrew for adults, this is Hebrew for adults. Like, there aren't going to be smart 4-year-olds there doing better than you. I had a good friend. She said, I studied French for 6 years. I got off the plane in Paris. I walked down the stairs. That was quite a while ago. And I heard a 4-year-old speaking French. I couldn't understand a word that child said because he was actually speaking French. Don't be that 4-year-old. If you are not that 4-year-old in Hebrew, we will be beginning our adventures. We should call it adventures with Hebrew, but I think that's probably been stolen. With a weekend, special weekend. It's called the Hebrew Blastoff. It is open for anybody and everybody who pays their fee. And on one weekend, 4 hours each afternoon, we get introduced to the Hebrew alphabet. 23 letters, no capitals, no capital letters. Oh, now you're interested. Okay. And also no punctuation, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. If you're interested in just that weekend, keep your eyes open in the bulletin. It's called the Hebrew Blast Off. Those of you who want to continue on, we will be planning on when we can do the course in the first semester. So that's that news. Don't forget, we have blue boxes. Blue boxes are for offerings. Yes, any offerings you can give. Don't you feel somewhat guilty about all the things you got over the holiday time? Because you're rich and you didn't need any of this stuff, really. You like it and you enjoy eating it, but you might want to consider giving the Lord a present. And that you can do in those blue boxes back there. If you do not want to pay money on Shabbat, we have a PayPal on the website. And the website is ohrchadash.org. Ohrchadash. See, it rhymes. Ohrchadash.org. Do not go to ohrchadash.com. You will not enjoy that website. But you will enjoy ohrchadash.org. And we thank you. You know, I was lying in bed this morning, and it was raining, and here's what I heard. In my bed, cozy, nice, warm. Dirt. Dirt. Not the rain outside. Much closer. Dirt. Dirt. Which I didn't even tell John yet. So if he doesn't come out of his office now, I don't know what's going to come out of the office. Council, don't forget we meet this Sunday at 3. For those of you who have friends, relatives, pen pals in other parts of the world, including other parts of the country, this service is broadcast on Vimeo, and you can get it through the Vimeo site. We do not ever broadcast the prayer request section at the end. That is not broadcast. So please don't think I can't share because the whole world on Vimeo will see what I'm praying. That is not true. We do not share that part, but we do share the sermon and the service. So keep that in mind. If you can't make it some evening, like you have to be really, really not well, then you can watch it at home. Hi, honey. People were a little concerned, and I went to every single bathroom, and you weren't in them. Well, what was lost is found, as it says somewhere. Sharon asked me if I had a good vacation. We went up to Philadelphia, and we stayed with John's family. And at dinner on Thursday, was it Thursday 22nd, 27th? What did we have, 45 people? One house?
36.
Oh, excuse me, it was only 36 this year. So, yeah, and so just imagine the restful vacation of contemplative conversations I had with various family members, and just imagine how special that was. And now you're thankful for whatever holidays you had. The only time we can get relaxation is when we're at our house. I don't know if you ever feel like that. But this is like a second home for a lot of us. This place here, we feel comfortable, we feel safe, we feel secure, we feel, if not loved, we feel liked and accepted, no matter where we come from or who we are. And for that, we are grateful. And we are grateful for all of you who come week by week, month by month, year by year. We've been here now for 36 years. Not in this building, but in the city of Clearwater. And so for that, we're very thankful to God because He's kept us and sustained us and brought us to enjoy every season that we have here at Congregation Ohr Chadash. Thanks very much for coming. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You heard it? You heard the drip drip, okay.
Here I thought she was describing me. As we begin our worship together this evening, we turn to pages 170 to 173 for the prayer from which we derive the name of our synagogue, Ohr Chadash. And I'm going to ask you, as the order of service indicates, to rise. Over top of the ark it says, Talifne mi'ata omed. Know before whom it is that you stand. And Ohr Chadash helps us to understand better before whom we stand and in whose presence we find ourselves most gratefully. The creator of the universe, but the one who also interacts and has stepped into history. So, pages 170 to 173, we will do this responsibly. First of all, I will be responding to and with you, and then you will do so to and with Richard. The text begins, El Baruch Gedol De'ah Hekin Uf'al Zahare Chama. And you respond,
O God, praised and all-knowing, you designed and fashioned the radiance of the sun. You, O benevolent one, crafted glory for your name. You placed luminaries around you as a majestic royal court. All your hosts in heaven continually declare your high praises and holiness, O Almighty. You are to be praised, O Lord our God, for the excellence of your handiwork and for the bright luminaries which you shaped. All shall glorify you.
Yes, you are to be praised. You are our rock, our king, our redeemer, our creator of ministering angels, who, as pictured by the prophet, stand in the heights of heaven, and together they proclaim with awe the words of the living God and the everlasting King. And we join them in that. All the heavenly hosts are loved, all are pure, all are mighty, and all in holiness and sincerity with song and psalm. They all praise and revere, they sanctify and ascribe sovereignty to your name, O God. You are the great, the mighty, the awe-inspiring and holy King. They all pledge to one another to accept the yoke of the kingdom of heaven, and they encourage one another to hallow their Creator. In complete harmony, and in harmony with them, with heartfelt words and sacred melody, we all respond together, and reverently we proclaim,
Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzvaot Melech Kol Haaretz Kedosh.
And then the celestial beings of the heavenly chariot, with great stirring, they rise toward the seraphim, and all together they respond with praise.
Praise be the splendor of the Lord from his residence in the heavens. Baruch Kavod Adonai, mi makamot.
To the gracious God they offer sweet song. To the ruler, the living and ever-enduring God, they sing hymns, and they make their praises heard. For he alone does mighty deeds and makes new things. You are the Lord who combats evil, sowing righteousness and causing salvation to spring forth. You create healing, for you are the Lord of wonders, and you are revered in praises. In your goodness, you renew the creation every day, continually, as it is said in the psalm. Give thanks to him that made great lights, for his mercy endures forever.
Ohr Chadash, Al Zion, Tahir, Venizke, Kulanu Mehera Leoro, Ohr Chadash, Al Zion, Venizke, Kulanu Mehera Leoro, Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMaorot. And together, cause a new light to shine upon Zion, and may we all be worthy soon to enjoy its brightness. Blessed are you, Lord, creator of light.
You may be seated. We talked in terms of the bright luminaries that God has made and the lights great lights that he has made. And as we welcome each Shabbat and we look out at the night sky, we see the stars and the lights that he has made. And as we do that, we are reminded on pages 8 to 11 that each time as Shabbat comes along, we not only see the lights, but we remember that God has given us Shabbat as a sign of his permanent, personal relationship with us. And so we respond on those pages as Richard leads us, pages 8 to 11.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheshet yamin asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashavi Shabbat v'inafan. The children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath throughout their generations as an everlasting covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever, that in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he ceased from work and rested.
Forever is a long.
Forever is a long time, and obviously it includes tonight. So tonight, we also observe Shabbat, and we're reminded of the lights that God has made and the light that he will produce in the Messianic age as we light the Shabbat lights this evening. Excuse me a second. Yes, thank you. You were right. I went into autopilot. We missed the line. Speaking about those lights, we need to reflect on those lights. You like that little pun in there? Thank you for the 2 or 3 of you who did catch that. We should learn the lessons of the lights, what the lights remind us of as well. And we do that for the Kabbalat Shabbat selection number 3, which is on page 153. And the way in which we'll do this is I'll ask you to join me as we welcome Shabbat with the first 2 lines. In the intervening paragraphs, I'll do the line that doesn't have quotation marks. You get the line that has quotation marks. If you don't know what those are the squiggles above the line. And then I'll ask, thank you. And I'll ask that you join me for the last couple lines. The lines you are responding with are in fact text of Scripture. So, as we welcome Shabbat, we say, Come, let us welcome Shabbat, the Queen of Days. Its radiance lights up our hearts with its glorious rays. Light reminds us of God.
The Lord is my light and salvation.
Light reminds us of his image within us.
The human spirit is the light of the Lord.
Light reminds us of God's covenant with us.
For the mitzvah is a lamp and the Torah is a light.
Light reminds us of Israel's calling.
I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
Light reminds us of the world to come.
In that day they will need no light, for the Lord God will give them light.
Light reminds us of the Messiah who said,
I am the light of the world.
Come, let us welcome Shabbat,
and to God sing praise, and pray for eternal Shabbat, the end of the days.
And now we light the lights that we have talked about, reflected on, and have learned the lessons of.
That just went on Shabbat break when I flipped.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has set us apart by your commandments and commanded us to light the candles for the Sabbath. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahiyot or goyim, v'natam lanu Yeshua Meshikenu ha'or la'olam. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctified us by your commandments and commanded us to be a light for the nations, and gave us Yeshua, our Messiah, the light of the world. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Down through the centuries, in synagogues around the world, we've prayed on a daily basis certain prayers. They're found in the Amidah. Using those very words, our Tehillat Ohr Chadash portion on pages 136 and 137, in the middle of the page, reminds us that God has in fact answered those very prayers. And so we too use those words and remind ourselves he has come and redeemed his people, because he has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. The text begins, Baruch Adonai Elohei Yisrael, ki pakad et amo, vayishlach lo padut, vayarem lanu keren Yeshua b'veit David avdo. Together,
Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come and has redeemed his people. He has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he said through his holy prophets of long ago. Salvation from our enemies and from the hand of all who hate us, to show mercy to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the oath he swore to our father Abraham, to rescue us from the hand of our enemies and to enable us to serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all our days.
and now we join on pages 40 and 41, entering into the reality that he has come and has redeemed his people. He now sits enthroned, as the rabbis of old envisioned, at the right hand of God in the heavenly realms, securing our destiny forever. And so we respond as we become part of that scene on pages 40 and 41.
Elohim asher diber mikadem פעמים רבות ומדרכים רבות אל אבות ביד הנביאים דיבר אלינו באחרית הימים האלה ביד הבן אשר Shalom Rogesh Kol Ubiado Gamasa et Olamim Uzohar Kevodo Betzelem Atzmuto Venose Kol Bidvaro Rav Hagavura Ulakash Ohr Chadash Yashav Livin Hagdula. In the past, God spoke to our fathers through the prophets at many times in various ways. But now, in the end of days, he has spoken to us by the Messiah, his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, and through whom he made the universe. The Son is the full radiance of God's glory, and the flawless manifestation of his reality. He sustains all things by his powerful word. After he made atonement for sins, he sat down in the place of authority beside the majesty in heaven. True and firm, established and lasting, right and faithful, loved and treasured, desired and pleasant, feared and mighty, ordered and acceptable, good and beautiful is this word to us forever and ever.
On pages 60 and 61 are a meter portion for tonight, and it'll just be the abridged section on the top of those pages. And so I invite you to stand yet again, facing this time Jerusalem, the direction of the ark. And it reminds us of our response. The response is, grant us, Lord, the knowledge of your ways, and so direct our hearts to your worship. That request, interestingly enough, in Hebrew is umol et levavenu, literally circumcise our hearts, so that we can be properly attuned and properly respond. We make these words our quiet response to our God this evening, as you'll notice at the end, we request that we get to see, speaking of lights, the lengthening of the light of the Messiah in our day. And so may we truly get to rejoice at the building of your house, the construction of your temple, the flourishing of the throne of David, the lengthening of the light of your Messiah, because you are the God who answers us before we call. Ukata Adonai Shomea Tefillah. You may be seated. That anticipation of getting to see the lengthening of the light of the Messiah is picked up as part of our response of continued praise to our God through Sephardi Kaddish, pages 156 and 157. We are grateful for the graciousness of our great God, and we acknowledge that. But we also acknowledge that as part of that, we anticipate more of what he will get to do when he brings about the reign of his kingdom. Pages 156 and 157.
Yigdal v'yikadash shemer haba, ve'alma divrachirute, v'yamlich malchute, v'yatzmach purkene, v'karev mesheche, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye l'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru omen. Yehi shmei Rabba Mavorach, le'olam olol me'omaya yikarach. Yehi shmei Rabba Mavorach, le'olam olol me'omaya yikarach. V'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal. Shnei de Kudashah berichu, ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvachata v'nechamata, ve'amiran ve'alma ve'imru omen. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, ve'chaim tovim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru omen. Oseh shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru omen. Glorified and sanctified be his great name. In the world which is created according to his will. May he bring about the reign of his kingdom, cause his salvation to sprout, and bring near his Messiah in your lifetime and in your days. and in the life of all the house of Israel. Speedily? Yes, soon. And say,
Amen.
may his great name be blessed forever and forever, eternally. Blessed and praised, glorified and exalted, extolled and honored, adored and lauded be the name of the Holy One.
Blessed is he
Who is high above, far above all blessings and hymns, praises and consolations which are spoken in the world.
and say, Amen.
May there be great peace from heaven, and good life for us and for all Israel. And say,
Amen.
he who makes peace in the heavenly realms, may he make peace for us and for all Israel. And say,
Amen. And
I ask you yet again to rise for Ein Kamoka, pages 88 and 89. As we've been praising our great God, he's the one who's above all praises and songs and so forth, which is why we now respond. Truly, there is none like you, O Lord, among the gods.
Ein Kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kama'asecha. Malchutcha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltcha bechol dor, bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai melech le'olam voed, Adonai oz le'avo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. There is none like you among the gods, my Lord, and there is nothing that compares to your deeds. Your kingdom is a kingdom that endures for all eternity, and your sovereignty extends throughout all generations. The Lord reigns, the Lord has reigned, the Lord shall reign throughout eternity. The Lord will bless his people with peace.
And now we have the opportunity to personalize what we have just responded with, and we do so by saying to our God, you are my God, my King, the only one whom I will serve and follow fully. We turn towards Jerusalem as we make this our response on pages 34 to 39. It is, of course, the Shema that is that response.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levacha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אלוהים הזכרת היום בלבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשעתך ובקומך, ובשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטובות בעיניך, ובכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone.
Blessed be he whose glorious kingdom is eternal.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your life, and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as reminders on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the door frames of your houses and on your gates.
Vaihi Ben Soa on pages 88 and 89 reminds us of two things. It recalls the reality that our ancestors shared when they walked hand in hand with God through the wilderness. These are those very words that they said. But it also looks forward to a time when, in fact, the words of Ein Kamoka will, in fact, come to pass. As the text says, the time when from Zion will go forth the Torah and the word of the Lord out of Jerusalem, like it goes forth among us even now. So we respond on pages 88 and 89.
Vayhi bin so Aaron vayomer Moshe Uma Adonai vayafutzoy vaka vayanuzu masaneka mipanecha